Hey guys, Superhorrorbro Mike here, and in today's video we take a look at a possible theory explaining the meaning behind Baldi's basics in education and learning.
Welcome to Baldi's Basics in Education and Learning. That's me.
This theory will take a look at what exactly this bizarre horror game means. After all, at first glance, it seems pretty nonsensical, right? Let's begin by taking a quick look at what we already know about Baldi's Basics. It was designed as a homage to the classic educational games of the 1990s. These were games such as Sonic's Schoolhouse and 3D Dinosaur Adventure. The objective is to collect 7 books found around the various classrooms of the school, all while avoiding Baldi, a furious maths teacher who becomes more enraged with each question your character fails. Enemies consist of other residents of the school, and all place obstacles in your way, making it harder to avoid Baldi and achieve your goal. These enemies are Playtime, a girl with a skipping rope who causes you to jump 5 of her rope swings before letting you pass.
Ready? Go! 1, 2, 3, 4.
Bully, a fellow student who forces you to offer him useful items in order to pass by. Gotta Sweep, a gigantic broom who moves you around the level into potentially dangerous areas. Arts and Crafts, a gigantic sock puppet who becomes jealous of the player for having too many notebooks and teleports them to Baldi's location at the start of a game. And Principal of a Thing, the school principal who places you in detention for breaking the various rules laid out by the school.
30 seconds. Detention for you. When will you learn?
Okay, so now I've explained the basics of this game, its characters, and its origin, let's take a look at what I believe it may all represent. In doing this, we can explain why exactly this indie horror game is quite so weird and wacky. My opinion is that while this may well simply be an insanely weird horror game, it may also be a reflection of the struggle of mental illness special needs students face every day. Consider this. What if Baldi's Basics is not a game within a game, but rather a reflection of how a troubled child views the world around them? There is one mental illness in particular that would line up perfectly with what we see in this game. Childhood schizophrenia is not particularly common and is often confused by autism, but it is far more severe and distressful for a child. Schizophrenia is described as a severe long-term mental health condition. It causes a range of different psychological symptoms. Doctors often describe schizophrenia as a type of psychosis. This means the person may not always be able to distinguish their own thoughts and ideas from reality. When looking at this statement about the illness, it certainly seems to explain a lot about how the child in Baldi's Basics views the world around them. If Baldi's Basics is set in the 1990s, which it likely is, then this troubled student may well have been given access to educational games on school computers, and then have taken the reality found within the visuals of those games and projected them onto their real-world view, finding it difficult to separate fiction from reality. So their teacher ends up resembling a character from the games used to teach them maths. The school becomes the game world. Fellow students take on the appearance of sketches drawn by this schizophrenic child. The janitor represented as a mop. The arts and crafts students represented as a sock puppet made in class. This child is simply experiencing a skewed version of reality. As the quote states, a person may not always be able to distinguish their own thoughts and ideas from reality. When we get maths questions wrong in the game, we see Baldi, the school maths teacher, grow angry and chase us. But is this simply the anxiety this troubled student is feeling as they fail in their schoolwork? The fact we see realistic images of human faces on the walls of the school suggests reality is bleeding through into their warped view of the world. These faces could in fact be the actual appearance of teachers at the school. When we are teleported around to detention and find ourselves trapped in a room for a certain amount of time, is this jump in time further evidence of the fractured nature of a schizophrenic mind? So everything this child sees comes from their second reality, a reality resembling the educational games they play within the school, with other school members and faculty appearing as characters from the game, sketches the child has drawn, or objects associated with their job roles. There is then no danger, rather everything is in the mind of a child suffering from a serious mental disorder. And that's it for today's video, guys. I